Greetings, everyone, whether you're working here on site, whether you're working at home, or whether you're on furlough. No doubt you will have read the news this morning about Andrew Rivera's death, and we're all quite shocked and very upset, obviously, by this. And the brothers, I think, are particularly finding this difficult because Andrew was so young and so vibrant. We will, of course, be coming up with a good way to celebrate his life, but it is sad for all of us. I wanted to just give you an update on where we are here and in terms of our discussions with the governors. Like many organisations, the pandemic has had consequences for our charity that we really could not have imagined. As you know, we've already furloughed a large number of staff, primarily as the museum and private functions are temporarily out of action, but also to stick to government advice on reducing travel and to reflect the special nature and vulnerabilities of our charity, hence the restrictions on people coming onto our site in order to help protect the brothers, infirmary residents and the remaining staff. This has been challenging, but I'm grateful for all the support and cooperation that we've received. And as the impact of the pandemic has unfolded, we have had to adapt our ways of working, such as restricting access to the site, isolating the community, and changing how the brothers interact with each other. However, we have also had to start looking at the medium and longer term future for our charity. The government's support through the furlough scheme has provided some initial help, and I'm proud that we took the decision, fully supported by the governors, to continue to pay individuals 100% of their salaries whilst on furlough, with the charity making up the difference between the government's limited support and each individual's salary. I'm aware that not all employers have been able or have chosen to do this. As you would expect, we've had to review our plans and budgets in the light of the new world we find ourselves in, and I've kept you up to date on that. In response to our current situation, we've been busy modelling the medium and longer term impact on our finances, in particular the impact on our income. So the reality is that the charity generates roughly 1 million through our financial investments and should generate around 2.5 million from our property portfolio each year. In addition, we've been generating surpluses from our commercial and events businesses. And in the light of the risks posed to the community, we've had to put a hold on our events business for the foreseeable future. And with regard to the investments, we've already been advised of reductions to some of our rental incomes, and we're forecasting further reductions, with total reductions expected to be in the region of £500,000 this year alone. In addition, we've been advised that our money generated from our financial investments will also be significantly reduced, not only for this year, but for a number of years to come, by at least £250,000 each year. This is a long-term thing. Therefore, we've been working with governors to identify the projects we can delay or stop, costs we can reduce or cut, not only now, but for the foreseeable future, as the economic impact of the coronavirus is likely to be felt for a number of years. The scale of reduction in our income means, however, that even after the cancellation of projects such as the refurbishment of the kitchen and other measures, the charity still faces a considerable year-on-year gap in funding and an unsustainable budget deficit, which has to be addressed now to protect the longevity and survival of the Charterhouse. I spoke to one of the brothers today and he expressed serious concern as to whether they would all be kicked out. I was able to reassure him that that was not the case, but we need to think about the long-term future of the charity. Reluctantly, therefore, we've had to look at both current and future staff costs. As you can imagine, this has been a difficult process, as each and every one of you is like a family member, part of the Charterhouse family. The process has therefore been the most difficult part of my role as Master that I've had to undertake so far. But the governors and I do unfortunately have to confront the realities of the situation we find ourselves in. We cannot simply bury our heads in the sand or wish this away, if only we could. Therefore, it's with deep regret that we will be launching a period of redundancy consultation with a number of individuals over the coming weeks as we seek a way forward. And it is likely that we will unfortunately subsequently see a number of our colleagues leave the Charterhouse at the end of that consultation period. This will of course be a particularly difficult time for those leaving us, but also for those of us who remain. Having to say goodbye to friends and colleagues, as well as taking on new challenges and demands, is going to be hard and painful. We will all have to adapt in different ways. With this in mind, can I take this opportunity to remind you all that you can access the Employee Assistance Programme, which we subscribe to. The programme provides access to counselling, financial planning, debt advice and much, much more. Leslie will resend details of how to contact them after the video has been posted. We will also be offering professional outplacement support to every individual leaving us, to ensure that they are best placed to secure new employment opportunities elsewhere in the future. Leslie will be issuing further guidance and advice over the coming days, but I wanted to speak to you all directly via this video to explain the reasons behind these difficult steps we are having to take. As I say, this will be a difficult time for all of us. However, I do hope that you will understand that we must ensure the long-term viability of our charity and the continuance of Thomas Sutton's legacy. Thank you.